Hey, what it do? What it do? What it do? It's your boy Q. And welcome back to the Content Creators Corner. Look, today I really wanted to talk about something important because I know the last two episodes we've talked about the White Rabbit, we've talked about networking. I want to make sure that if we're doing those things that we're not falling into the dark hole, which is comparing our growth to anybody else's growth that we're watching or anybody else that's in our circle, because that's really something that can just take a content creator or a streamer's attitude, send it straight down into the pooper, and really just put you behind in your progress as a content creator itself. Now, I know you might be sitting there thinking, well, how am I supposed to network and incorporate what other people are doing without comparing what I'm doing to their doing and comparing our growth at the same time? So we're going to talk about it.
I don't want to be you, I just want to be me. Doing my thing. And if I was you, I would want to be me. I'm doing my thing. Cause all these other...
Now look, first off, just like always, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and do me a favor when you get to the end, leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think, and let me know of some topics that you would like us to discuss in some upcoming episodes. But I do want to make sure that we make one thing very clear. It's one thing to see what other people are doing to help drive success and the growth in their channels and trying to incorporate that into your own success, and actually expecting to see the same exact growth at the same exact rate on your channel itself. I think it's one thing very important right off the bat that when we're in our beginning stages of our content creating careers, that we really don't focus on the numbers, because we have to remember that at the end of the day, it's really a momentum thing. The hardest 100 followers for a content creator to get is going to be his first 100 followers. And then you'll quickly see that that 100 turns into 150, 250, 500, and so on and so forth. Like, let's just say, for instance, if you've been following me over on Twitter and following us over on Mixer, which we're going to leave those links in the description below, you'll notice that we have been hitting a nice little momentum spike. We had a really hot last month, gaining pretty much the same amount of followers over on Mixer in this last month that it took us to get in almost a year and a half over on Twitch. But I wouldn't change it for anything, because honestly, that time over on Twitch and that initial growing process is really what allowed me to develop myself as a streamer and a content creator in order to see that growth that we've seen again in this last month. So I think it's really important that when you are looking at those around you, those people that you want to follow in their footsteps as far as seeing that success in your channel, that's what we're looking for, and we're not looking for the same numerical growth that they saw in that same exact time. It's very easy to look around and see somebody who's maybe putting in the same amount of hours as you, maybe even putting in less hours of you, and seeing them developing more growth as far as the number side of things, and wonder why you're not seeing the same. But the thing is, you got to remember, when it comes to this journey, everyone's starting in a different place. Maybe you haven't been in the gaming scene as long as that person that you're trying to compare yourself to, so your network isn't as big. And that's not a big thing. We talked about that last episode, the importance of networking and being able to develop that. And at the same time, we can never really truly evaluate someone else's network without being in their shoes, right? Because you never know what it is that's helping them see that accelerated growth, whether it's being a bigger network. Maybe they're streaming their content on their platform at a time where they see a peak viewership compared to maybe when you have time to in your schedule. And it could also be that because of the network that they have, they do get more hosts, raids, and things like that allow them to get more to the top of a viewership count in a specific game playlist versus where you're starting at now. The important thing is you have to remember, everything is just one step at a time. You're going to want to be patient while also being persistent and doing the things that you need to do in order to continue to see the growth that you're looking for. You also have to remember that at the end of the day, you're going to have to do something that is really unique to you. And if you're not competing at a very peak level of a specific game, if it's a competitive game, you have to find out what it is that you can do to stay unique to yourself while also being able to separate yourself from all the other content creators that are in a specific genre that you're trying to grow in. I'm sure if you look across your network and the streamers that you watch, there's probably something that each one of them does that's a little different that allows them to really grow a community around them. I can think of different things, whether it be Darth Goldilocks over on Mixer there for a while. Not only did he build a community that was based around a game, Realm Royale, that also hosted tournaments and things like that to help really see and promote his success. Or you have Tease Monkey over in the Paladins community, who really does something I would say quite different than a lot of streamers do. A lot of streamers like to focus on either going with the Siege playlist or at least incorporating that into their multi-queue. Whereas what Tease will do is he plays the quicker playlist like Team Deathmatch and Onslaught, which allows him to run more community games, get more people involved, which allowed him to really see quite a bit of success, which allowed him to see a huge growth in just a couple of months and become one of the newest Mixer partners. There's always going to be something that you can do that really helps separate yourself from the rest. I know we talked about in one of the previous episodes, the market right now is super saturated, which it is. But the important thing to remember is it's not too saturated for you as long as you're doing something that's unique. So what I am going to challenge you guys to do is to find what it is that you're most comfortable with doing. That's maybe just a little bit different, even if it is taking an idea from that white rabbit that we talked about in episode 2 and really just tweaking it a little bit to your personality. What I want you to do is take that idea and run with it. And remember that it has to be persistent. You can't do something for 1 or 2 weeks, and because you don't see the success that you're looking for, think that that idea should be scrapped and thrown in the trash. It's going to take time. So you have to be patient while also being persistent in the pursuit of your goals. At the end of the day, this isn't going to happen overnight. But just like we see in basically any other career, hobby, or really any task that people take on, it's going to take time to perfect your craft. So what are you doing outside of just hitting that go live button, hitting that button to end your stream, that's going to help you see that growth? Again, you have to remember, most of these streaming platforms, there really isn't a lot of discoverability on them. The job does not stop there. So if you're really wanting to see that extra growth and to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to do the things that others aren't willing to do. Remember, there are plenty of other things that you can be doing. Engaging on social media, engaging in other communities, making and creating content that you can share on multiple platforms to help drive that extra traffic over to your channel. But the only way to get there is to start doing those things today and creating habits. That way it becomes just a second nature as you continue to grow. Write yourself a schedule, be persistent, and remember that you're going to have to do this thing more than just a couple weeks or even more than a couple months in order to see the growth that you truly want. Don't focus on the numbers, and just focus on being true to you. And like always, guys, if you found something in here that you really think helps drive home, you really think maybe that there are people that you know in your network that could use this message, do me a favor, share it on your social medias that you're currently involved in, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Also, of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you can always catch me not only on Mixer pretty much 5-6 mornings a week starting at 6 a.m. Eastern time, but you can always catch me on pretty much any social media. You can find us at YoBoyQ. I will also leave those links down in the description below. Remember to work hard, play harder. But for now, this is your boy Q, signing out.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will